Hi again, everyone. Welcome back to Foundations. We are in Unit 2, and today we're going to talk about marking the glued sounds or the welded sounds. And I just want to give you a little note on the k sound, which we've already discussed. So let's get started. And no, there are no trick words in this slideshow. Okay, let's go. Okay, so when a word begins with a k sound and a blend, we almost always use C. Okay, so for example, cramp, clap, crop, click. You see those all begin with a CR or a CL. There are almost no words that begin with a KR or a KL. In very, very, very old English, we did have some. These days, they're very, very rare, and you probably won't see any for a few years, unless they're names. Okay, so that's an important thing to remember about using k. And of course, we know we'll never begin with a CK. Now, when we see K in a word, when a word ends with a k sound and a blend or a digraph, we often use K. For example, blank, think, milk, pack. Okay, so you see how those at the end, so the ank and the ink and blank and think, actually those are glued sounds. So the glued sounds will have a K, not a C. Okay, milk has a blend and pack has a digraph. Okay, so all of those have the K. So now let's look at, finally, how we're going to mark these words. Now the colors might look a little strange here. The green, just for this video, and then the last one actually, is for the glued or the welded sounds. Okay, now don't worry too much about the color. Let's look at how we're going to mark these. So we'll look at the word cramp, and we're going to use everything we know. It's one syllable, so it's going to get a scoop. We're going to put separate lines under the CR because that is a blend. We'll put a brev over the A because it's a short A. It's cramp. It's not cramp. And we will put a box around the glued sound just like we do with the first glued sound that we learned, the all. Okay? And of course, this is still a closed syllable. That A, that vowel, is closed in by consonants. That's what makes it short. Okay? So that's how we mark that one. Now let's go to the next one. Clamp. It's one syllable, so it'll get one scoop. C and L are a blend, so we'll put separate lines there. The A is short. It's clamp. It's not clamp. Okay? It's a closed syllable. And because there's a glued sound there, we'll put a box around it. So here's what I want you to do. Pause here. Make sure you've got all 8 of these words written down, okay? And mark them just as I have marked them, okay? Give yourself lots of space, but try to write small when you can. And pause, and when you're finished, you can unpause and come back and check. Okay, good luck. Okay, is everybody finished? All right, now let's go to the next word, crop. It's one syllable, so we give it one scoop. The C and the R are a blend. Okay, so they each get their own line. It's crop, not crope. That's a short O, so it gets a brev. And it's a closed syllable. Okay, and there's no box here because there's no glued sound. Next is click. One scoop because it's one syllable. C and L are a blend, so they each get their own line. It's a closed syllable. There's a brev because it's click, not clike. And there's a digraph here, and the C and the K are underlined together. Okay, now let's go on. Blank. Blank gets a scoop because it's one syllable. B and L are a blend. It's blank, not blank, so we put a brev there. We put a box around our glued or welded sound. and we put a C underneath. Okay, and we're going to do almost exactly the same thing for the next one, except TH gets a line under it because it's a digraph. Then, when we look at milk, 1 scoop, separate lines for the blend, L and K, abrève, okay, and it's a closed syllable. And finally, pack, 1 scoop, a line for the digraph, abrève for the short vowel, and a C for the closed syllable. That's a lot of work, isn't it? And just think, we have a lot more marking to learn how to do. There are so many different kinds of syllables. Okay, make sure you have this. Just check it and make sure it's correct. And on that same paper, get ready to practice some words. But before that, don't forget about the bossy R, that it changes the way vowels sound. That's coming up again in the next lesson. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind somewhere. Okay, now let's see if you can spell these words. The first one is slump. Slump. The baseball player was in a slump because he hadn't hit the ball in 2 games. Okay, here it is. And no, you don't have to mark this. The next one is thank. I would like to thank you for the cupcake. Thank. All right, here it is. Your next one is think. Think. When Winnie the Pooh has a problem, he likes to think in his special spot. Think. Okay, did you get it? Very good. Okay, the next one is bring. Please don't forget to bring your rain boots. Bring. Okay, let's have a look at it. Your next one is ramp. Ramp. He went skating on the ramp. Let's see if you have what I have. And the last one is sting. Sting. Watch out because bees can give you a painful sting. Okay, and there it is. How did you do? Awesome. Okay. Oh. Okay, very good. That's it for today. And you know, when I think of a bee, I don't think of the sting. I just think of being so busy. Oh, there's so much work to do. The end.